I can do that.
Shalom from Jerusalem. This is Uriel, LCP, Independent News, Jerusalem, Israel. Sir, what do you think about the so-called negotiations that are being held in Jordan with so-called Palestinians? As you know, they're trying to obtain more of the land that was allotted to us Jews.
Right, yeah. Well, I think so-called is a very good word. Look, the minimum that the Palestinians say they will accept is so far away from the maximum that any government, I don't care who it is, labor, whatever, could possibly give, that there's absolutely nothing to talk about. There are no negotiations. It can't possibly be. When the one side says, well, we want your total destruction, so what's there to talk about?
We understand that, but negotiations are being held, and I say this very likely because America is behind the scenes pushing Israel with the quartet and the European Union.
Yeah, exactly. Not only America, just about the whole world. They would like everything to go away. They would like the whole conflict with the Arabs to go away. They would like Israel to go away. They just want to be left alone, the rest of the world. But that the fact that the price would be paid by us is not troubling.
So you are against any so-called negotiations, any peace for land? It doesn't work.
Well, we saw what happened when we gave them peace. We gave them Gaza. We gave them nothing. What did we get? We got missiles. We got rockets. We got suicide missions. So tell me, where's the land for peace?
Now, let me ask you a spiritual question, because I'm trying to be spiritual here. The Torah tells me in the book of Devarim that we are not to negotiate the land with the enemy. And if we negotiate the land, there's a price to be paid. And we're paying a big price by the so-called terror attacks against Israel.
Well, I think that there's no question that the price is going to be extracted from us. Whether we negotiate, whether we don't negotiate, whether we give land, whether we don't give land, there's no end, because what they want is our total destruction. There's nothing, there's no doubt about it. They come out and say it. I mean, the problem is when the Arabs say we want to kill you, we want to destroy you, the world doesn't believe them. They say, well, that's what they say, but they're not really serious. I mean, after all, who would say something like that? I know who would say something like that. Somebody that really believes it, and this is what we have.
Well, the constitution of Hamas basically states in their constitution says, and I quote, "Oh, Abdullah, if you see a Jew behind a tree, go kill him, and if you find him on the rock, and murder him."
Yeah.
I mean, that is clear to me and you. Yet our leaders are not basically leading us in the right way. Why would that be?
Well, not only the Hamas constitution, but the PLO charter was created before the 1967 war, when we had no land. What land did we have? We had what the UN deigned to give us out of the original mandate, which included Jordan, by the way, and Judah and Samaria. So what they're talking about is nothing less than the extinction of the Jewish people here. And there is nothing to talk about.
Judea.
But the best that Netanyahu and any government can do is stall things along and keep building. Keep building.
Well, yesterday the British so-called deputy prime minister said on camera next to Abu Mazen that Israel should stop the vandalism of the construction of all these settlements. I mean,
it doesn't cost him anything to say. It doesn't cost him anything to say that, does it?
This land was given to you and I as a heritage, as a covenant by Hashem.
Imagine if they said to Abraham, "Don't build." Abraham Avinu or Yaakov or Moshe Rabbeinu and the 12 tribes, don't build. So
now, one final question.
Yeah.
If you were Prime Minister of Israel, how would you go about dealing with the so-called Arab issue in our land?
Yeah, this is the problem. Because we don't want to rule over millions of non-Jews. That's not our way. On the other hand, and aside from the fact that these non-Jews would want to kill us, on the other hand, we can't push them out or take away their homes or do whatever. So there is a dilemma. And it has to be a theological answer ultimately. the rabbis have to come out and say finally what the disposition of the conflict should be.
Finally, Resolution 242, which was actually negotiated by the United Nations, does not even mention the so-called Palestinian people. It was just dealing basically with the Arab issue that were surrounding us back then.
The only
Resolution
people
22.
that ever had Palestinian stamped on their passports were Jews.
Absolutely.
The Arabs, the so-called Palestinians, only had Arab stamped on their passports. So who's the Palestinian? You and I.
This is Real LCP Independent News, Jerusalem, Israel.
Say.
Bye-bye.